Welcome to the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. This is Season 4, Episode 26. And our Cantastic journey continues. That's our theme for this year. And we've come across country. We were on the West Coast on our last episode, and we've come all the way back home to New York, and Pine Bush, New York in particular. We have to start out with our Wine Nerd Word of the Week, which is more of a type of wine, which is Vinho Verde. And this is a regional wine style from Portugal. And it's offered in white, rosé, and red styles. And it's a blend of regional grapes. So Vinho Verde is a type of Portuguese wine. And our can of the week is right here. But first we have to introduce our special guest host. Are you there, James?
I am. Hi, Brad.
Hey, it's...
Today we have a Piquette. And I'm embarrassed to say I've never heard of a Piquette before. It's from 2022. It's a skin contact sparkling wine, and it's made in New York State.
Correct. And we have it's a rather large can, a 355 milliliter can. It's fairly light on the alcohol scale at a 7%. I don't know why they don't make wines at a 6%. That would allow you to put it into grocery stores. Because down here, sort of like in Manitoba where you are, only liquor stores can sell wine and alcohol. But you can you buy beer in a grocery store? I think you can't you?
It's just starting. They're just starting to change the laws for that.
Yeah.
So people are just starting to pick that up. Some of the bigger retailers, but nothing smaller.
I did see it.
Right now.
I did see a lot of NA wines in Superstore. I didn't pick any up because they were all in bottles and hard to transport. But I was thinking of trying a Superstore Cabernet Sauvignon NA, but then I got distracted by some regular A and off I went, But if they came out with a can of that would be great, because a lot of what we do here, as you witnessed through our dry January, I think we did 5 different NA wines that were pretty decent. So the low alcohol Piquette could be a real decent one. And I had a Piquette, actually. We talked about this in the pre-chat that we had before we started recording, from Low Life breweries in Winnipeg that does a little bit of canned wine stuff. I haven't seen any more at the MLCC when I've been up there, but I'm always looking, and I had a Piquette from them. That was my first experience with it. And just to sort of help the listeners, do you want to give a little bit of background on what a Piquette is?
Sure. It's a sparkling wine made of pulp left over from crushed grapes, and then later mixed to re-ferment in the bottle with the wine made from the previously crushed grapes. It's instead of tart, there's a little sour, deeper and funkier. It sounds pretty interesting. I'm excited by this. That sounds great.
Exactly. So they take the grapes. They use various grapes in this. Cayuga, Chardonnay, Aurora, and Riesling are the ones that are mentioned. They've already used them to make wine. And then they use them to make the wine. Then they extract them again and use the wine squeezings and pressings, add a little water, and re-ferment them to create this Piquette drink, which has a unique flavor and style. And I found that with the one previously that I had, it was a little bit cloudy and a little bit raw, and that it was an interesting drink. Now, Piquette itself is a French term that refers to the prickly carbonation of it. And as you mentioned, it's a combination of the pomace, which is the squeezed grape pressings, and water that makes it have that. So it's an interesting style of wine, one that, quite honestly, I would have never experienced, but being that we're on this Cantastic journey now for 4 years, we've tasted all manner of wines as long as they're in cans. We drink other wines that aren't in cans, but when you're on a Cantastic journey, it tends to take up all of your drinking activities, if you know what I mean.
Agree.
So, without any further ado, what do we do on this Canned Wine podcast?
We open cans of wines to talk about it.
Exactly, and I think we've been doing a lot of talking, but we should probably open this can of wine and continue to talk about it.
Here we go. I'm going to open it.
Okay, I'm going to count down, and then we'll open it when we get to 0. Okay?
Okay, sure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pretty carbonated.
Yeah, there is some carbonation there. Also, it doesn't even rank on my wine charts. I would say it's beyond what deep copper. Maybe deep copper would be the best description of it.
Yeah, you can't even see through it. It's not that it's cloudy, it's just that it's kind of dense.
And really very carbonated. It says served chilled, so.
Okay. This is kind of like a blood orange color. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really tasting that citrus flavors. Peach. I don't know, honeysuckle, that's a difficult flavor to extract from there, but definitely a deep color.
Yeah, I can almost taste like a strawberry or something in there. I don't really. I was expecting it to be a lot more sour or tart, but it's not that at all. It's rather pleasant.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a bit of a musty flavor too. I'm not sure what that is. It reminds me of somewhat equine. Maybe it's just that honeysuckle combination.
This would be a great wine for summertime barbecue.
That's what I was going to say. You could you could enjoy a Piquette on the patio. That's what this screams. Paul Brady wines, rather, in Beacon is where I found this, and had a very lively conversation with Paul Brady himself. And he's a one-man cheerleading team for New York products, and this is a New York product, and he had great things to say about Wild Ark Farms. That's Todd Cavallo and Crystal Cornish. Now, they said they were 30 years in Brooklyn, but in 2016 moved up to the Hudson Valley to Pine Bush and set up their biodynamic organic farming operation where they do a number of things, but they also grow wines and make grapes and these kind of things. So, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to go out there and check it out. They do have some pizza parties and different events going on. Many of the wineries up in the area do a lot to self-promote themselves, like Wild Ark, and the other one that comes to mind is in Marlborough. That's another one that does a lot of this stuff. The carbonation is fading fairly quick, but
Yeah.
it's a reasonably clear wine. I wouldn't say it's filtered, but mine came out pretty good. And
Yeah.
I can assure you that you're the only person in Gimli, Manitoba, opening a Wild Ark Piquette on this, which happens to be Mardi Gras Day.
Great. Yeah, that Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'm enjoying this wine. It's like the sip on it. It's not something I drink quickly. It's
Yeah, it has more of a texture and a complexion, if you will, of more of a beer than a strong wine.
It does. Yes. It's yeah, that's Canada. half a bottle here, so I think that's all I would need.
Yeah, the 355 is a full size one. Now, for all of the
Yeah.
people out there who have been enjoying our postcard promotion, we're still sending them out to you. So, Jamie, yours is on the way for your answer to our question the other day. We appreciate people that answer on YouTube or wherever you see it, and subscribe, because that's how we grow the Can Wine Podcast and get the good word out there about wine that comes in a can.
This wine is certainly interesting.
Yep.
We'll definitely take this over a spritzer any day. I like that the carbonation has disappeared, and the fact that it's a little cloudy or dark doesn't bother me.
No.
I'm not sure about this, but I in the future, if I were to have one of these, I may or may not consider putting ice in it.
Yep.
Which is an odd thing to say about wine, but
I'm not sure if I'm getting a leather flavor, or I don't know what that is. Maybe one of those Cayugas or Auroras has a bit of a not so much a funk, but some sort of an interesting. Maybe leather. Maybe it's a leathery smell I can taste. But it's more of a.
yeah, the smell, the aroma is different.
Yeah, there's a very nice aroma to it. Definitely tart, and it's got the real heavy on the Piquette, if you will. So, good job.
Very good.
That's
Taste the tartness now. Yeah.
cheer to Todd and Crystal. You've done a real good job. I was watching one of your videos on YouTube about your struggles to keep your costs down, and I mean, I think I don't know if I took the time to take the price was written on a grease pencil on the thing, but it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't overly expensive, and I think when you consider the amount of craft that goes into it, as I discussed with Paul, it's well worth it. These people put their heart and soul into a can, and I'm glad to help them out.
Great. Yeah.
And
The plant, or the terroir, I guess you'd say, would be a lot different than you would find on the West Coast. So it's
tremendous, yeah. We're a much more cool season and a lot moister, so you have to know what you're doing to do grapes in an organic kind of biodynamic way here, because there's a lot of fungi to say it mildly. I know in apple production and New York's famous for apple production, they do a lot of fungicides because it rains all the time, and that tends to get your various fungi and abs and rusts and all these things that are floating around. So the way I always describe it is, when it's rainy, you got to spray, and when it's not rainy, you got to spray. So they're just spraying very very frequently. So, and the effort to get this up to you was no easy feat. We going to say a shout out to Lee Repko. He was the first man who, I was the first man to pick it up from Paul Brady. Oh, and I wanted to say I am wearing a Paul Brady knit cap, or as we would say in Canada, a toque, that I swapped with the toque that you're wearing tonight. He has one of those, and I have one of his, because it's nice to be warm, and there's a lot worse things than being cold. I just can't ever think of any, so it's good to have one on. And weather is warming up here, although we are supposed to get a cold crack. I think you guys have it now, and it's heading this way. So
we're expecting a blizzard tonight.
What's your temperature going to be tonight?
It's going to be not minus 17 or something like that, but we're expecting a lot of snow. 10 to 15, maybe even 20 centimeters overnight. So I expect to wake up to a winter wonderland tomorrow, and have to deal with shoveling once again.
And Paul Brady mentioned that he was, I think, from upstate Michigan or somewhere around that ways, and he was quite familiar with these types of hats. So, again, thanks for the hat, Paul, and thanks for being such a cheerleader for New York products. His place is up in Beacon, New York, and Jamie, if you ever get down this way, we'll take you and May up there for to sample some New York products and also some of his. He has a little bistro in there, so there's a little bit of food you could check out too. So.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and as I mentioned again, I'll promote it. Our card thing. If you subscribe or answer the question, you get a card mailed out to you. We'll track you down. And this particular one is from Boston. Not a big college town, but this one has a picture of Paul Revere, famous patriot in Boston. So we appreciate that. Again, our shout out to Lee Ripko. Thanks for being the middleman, helping this along. Kenny, hope your drive is easy and that they overestimated the amount of snow and you make it through to keep those people working safe up there. We'd also like to give a shout out to Stephen. Good race today, and it was good to see Printville showing that he was racing at a local raceway, Yonkers Raceway, and managed to get a third place, which is a pretty good showing when you're starting at the sixth post. So that's great. And our head scratcher today: what town in New York State does Wild Ark Farm create these great wines in? Where is Wild Ark Farm located? And anybody that answers that, again, you would get one of these fantastic vintage postcards mailed out to you. In closing, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the Can Wide podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. And remember, enjoy responsibly. Just because it comes in a big snazzy can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. The Can Wine podcast is a Center Stage production. All rights reserved.